I didn't get a goodbye, not even a fight. Just a white envelope resting on the kitchen counter next to the coffee I poured him that morning. Inside was a lawyer's letter, no apology, no explanation, just cold, clinical betrayal. 28 years, that's how long I loved him. That's how long I trusted him with my life, my heart, and my bank account. And that's how long it took him to erase me. He locked me out of the house, frozen our accounts, disconnected every card with my name on it, even the emergency one. But here's what he didn't know. There was one account, one he opened before we got married. And the day I remembered it was the day he lost his mind in court. Because I didn't cry, I didn't beg, I just logged in and smiled. Please take a second to subscribe to the channel. It helps more people hear stories like mine. And I'd love to know, where in the world are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. You never know who might relate to this. Your support means the world, especially to women like me who found power when the world counted us out. My name is Monica. I'm 51. And for 28 years, I believed loyalty meant security. I was wrong. We met when I was 24. He was 30, confident, funny, and knew how to make a girl feel like the only person in the room. The first time he kissed me, I remember thinking, this is it. This is what forever feels like. And for a while, it really did. We got married a year later, nothing fancy, just two people in love, holding hands at a courthouse, promising each other everything. I gave him all of me, and when I say all, I mean everything. I moved states for him, put my career on pause to raise our kids. I signed joint documents without question, power of attorney, bank accounts, investment portfolios. He handled it all, and I trusted him. That was always the deal. He'd handle the money, and I'd handle the home. He called it division of responsibility. I called it love, and I didn't question it. Not when he got new credit cards, not when he said he needed separate business accounts, not even when he started locking his phone at night. I told myself it was stressful. I told myself he was tired. I told myself all the things women tell themselves when they feel something's off, but don't want to believe it. Looking back now, there were signs, missed anniversaries, cold silences in the middle of arguments, his habit of answering questions with questions. Why do you always assume the worst? Are you keeping tabs on me now? Slowly, quietly, he started making me feel guilty for noticing his distance. Still, I loved him. I believed in what we had. I thought I'd grow old beside him. I had no idea that while I was folding laundry, he was folding an escape plan behind my back. It started like any other Tuesday. I was standing in aisle 6 of the grocery store comparing olive oil brands when my phone buzzed. It was a bank notification. Your joint savings account has been emptied. At first I assumed it was fraud, a glitch. Maybe he moved money around for taxes. But when I called him, it rang twice, then went straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same thing. Then I texted, delivered, but no response. A strange feeling crept into my stomach, one I hadn't felt in years. Something told me to go home immediately. I left my cart in the middle of the aisle and rushed to the car. When I got to the house, my key didn't fit. I jiggled it, tried again and again, until it clicked in my mind. He changed the locks. I stood there in broad daylight, staring at my own front door like a stranger. No note, no suitcase on the porch, just a mailbox full of bills with both our names on them, and a cold steel deadbolt between me and the life I thought I still had. That night, I slept in my car, wrapped in a blanket I kept in the trunk for emergencies. Funny, I always thought emergencies meant flat tires or bad weather. Not this. The next day, I drove to the bank. The teller gave me a look I'll never forget. Half sympathy, half avoidance. She told me the accounts had been frozen. All of them, even the emergency savings in my name. I asked how that was possible. She said a lawyer had filed a motion that removed my name from access. I didn't even know you could do that. I remember feeling my throat go dry. I asked for help, and she whispered, "I'm so sorry." That's when I checked my credit cards. Declined. I checked our joint credit line. Gone. Everything we'd built together, he stripped me from it, like I never existed. I had no money for gas, no card to get a motel. I sold my wedding ring the next day for $600 just to afford a consultation with a divorce attorney. And you want to know the kicker? That attorney looked me in the eye and said, "He's been planning this for a while." Apparently, the paperwork had been filed weeks ago, all behind my back. The house was already in his name. The accounts were shifted. The assets sold or hidden. My name was a ghost in every document. I felt like I had died, and no one told me. For the next few weeks, I lived out of my friend Marcy's guest room. I barely spoke. I barely ate. Some days, I just sat with a notebook, writing down every login I could remember, every document I'd ever signed, trying to make sense of what went wrong and when. The lawyer told me I had almost no legal recourse. He had structured things carefully, smartly, cruelly. I kept blaming myself for not asking more questions, for not keeping more of my own money, for loving him too much and protecting myself too little. Then one night, around 2 a.m., I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying our early years, the move we made to Arizona, the old apartment above the Thai restaurant, the way we used to budget every dollar. And then it hit me. Back then, he had opened a side account, a small freelance income stream, something he used before his business grew. I remembered because he made me a co-user on the account before we got married. I jumped out of bed and grabbed my laptop. The account was with a smaller credit union, one we hadn't used in years. I typed in my old username, wrong password, tried again, reset the login with an old email. After a few steps, it let me in, and what I saw made my heart stop. The account was still active, and it wasn't empty. In fact, it had more money than I'd ever seen in one place. Hundreds of thousands, tucked away, hidden, and untouched. If you've made it this far, thank you for staying with me. This story isn't just about betrayal. It's about rediscovering your power when everything's been taken from you. If you're feeling this journey, please hit the like button so YouTube knows it's worth sharing. And if you've ever had to rebuild after someone broke your trust, share a word in the comments. Even a simple "I understand" goes a long way. For years, he'd been funneling small percentages from our income, bonuses, dividends, business returns, into this forgotten account. No paper trail in our taxes. No mention of it in our family discussions. Just a secret nest egg with my name still legally attached. I sat there staring at the number, not moving, not blinking. Then I started downloading every transaction history, every statement, every proof of deposit. I made copies, backups, even printed them out and sealed them in an envelope. The next morning, I walked into my lawyer's office and slid the folder across the table. She opened it and smiled. For the first time in weeks, I felt something crack inside me, not from pain, but from possibility. This wasn't over. I had always imagined a confrontation, the dramatic kind, yelling, tears, me demanding answers, him giving excuses, closure. But real life doesn't hand you closure. Sometimes it hands you proof. I watched my lawyer flip through the transaction records. Her eyes widened. Page after page of deposits he never declared, stashed quietly in a forgotten vault with both our names on it. That, she said, changes everything. We filed a motion that same afternoon. He had been hiding assets, and in the eyes of the court, that wasn't just unethical, it was illegal. The paperwork was served 2 days later. I didn't hear from him, but I know he read it. I could almost feel his panic through the silence. He thought he had erased me, but I'd just shown up on his radar again. This time with evidence. The courtroom smelled like old wood and stale coffee. People whispered in benches behind us. He walked in with that same smug walk I used to find charming, confidence, in control, wearing a navy blue suit that matched the coldness in his eyes. He didn't look at me, but I saw the flicker in his face when my lawyer handed the judge our folder. The judge skimmed it, asked him about the account. His lawyer leaned in, whispering. He whispered back. The judge cleared her throat. "Mr. Callahan, why was this account not disclosed during discovery?" He stammered, first claimed it was a closed business account, then said he forgot it existed. But the records didn't lie. Regular deposits, withdrawals, transfers. He turned red, then purple, then absolutely unhinged. "I built that money," he shouted. "It's mine." The judge banged the gavel, called for order, and I just sat there, watching the man who tried to financially bury me come undone in front of everyone. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just looked at him, calm, steady, and thought, this is what justice looks like. He was ordered to pay back everything he hid, and more. Penalties, legal costs, a full half of the hidden funds, enough for me to rebuild. But I didn't just take the money. I took back control. I found a quiet little house near the lake, nothing extravagant, but peaceful, with warm light in the windows and a garden I could finally tend without worrying about someone walking out on me again. And the best part? It's 3 doors down from his old best friend's place. The same friend I always suspected he resented, the one he called lazy and broke, the one who, after the trial, sent me a handwritten note that simply said, "You deserve peace." And for the first time in years, I felt it. I won't pretend I walked away untouched. Betrayal that deep leaves a scar, but scars are proof that you survived. He thought I'd break, that I'd wither quietly in the dark, humiliated and alone. But instead, I turned my silence into strategy. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I remembered. And when I logged into that old account, I became the version of myself he was never ready to face. The version that fights back. If this story moved you or reminded you that strength can come after heartbreak, please subscribe to the channel for more real stories like this. Your support helps these voices be heard. Leave a comment below and let me know. Have you ever had to rise after being left with nothing? I read every comment, and your words might just inspire someone else who's going through the same. And don't forget to like the video if you believe in quiet revenge, powerful comebacks, and justice finally being served.